Every gambler knows the significance of the number 7. Here at the World Series of Poker Heads-Up Championship, 7 carries a special meaning. To win the bracelet, you must defeat 7 consecutive opponents. From a stacked field of 128, only 4 players still have that chance. Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
I wanted to test myself against 127 of the world's best heads-up no-limit players.
Eric Froehlich.
We played last year in the 10K heads-up at the World Series, and I won. I'm looking to repeat history there.
Jake Cody.
Pretty much one of the most amazing ones of my whole life. Last 18 months have been a bit of a roller coaster.
And Gus Hansen.
When you go for a 25K heads-up event, there's not going to be a lot of free meal tickets. I feel like I've been making good decisions.
It took 5 wins to reach the semifinals. Now they must win 2 more. 5 plus 2 equals the bracelet. Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Tonight in Las Vegas, one of the preeminent events of the summer, the 25K Heads-Up World Championship. Reigning main event champ Jonathan Duhamel is here as a spectator to watch our 4 semifinalists. The tenacious Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
That's a good walk.
2-time bracelet winner Eric Froehlich.
That's a nice smile.
Reigning World Series Heads-Up champ Gus Hansen.
That's a ripe banana.
EPT and WPT champ Jake Cody.
That's a hoodie.
Hi, everyone. Lon McCarran along with Norman Chad. To become the World Series of Poker 25K Heads-Up champion, not only do you need to defeat 7 consecutive opponents, you need to beat the best in the world. And by world, I really mean world. Norman, this Final Four makes the clear statement that this game and this event is truly global. The semifinalists have birth certificates from all over the map. A Brit, a Dane, a Ukrainian, and of course, Norman, the kid from New Jersey.
Lon, this lineup reads more like a NATO delegate list than a rounders convention. But in this day and age, that's not surprising. Heads-up is the purest form of poker, and the world has caught on. Yevgeniy Timoshenko and the Jersey boy Eric Froehlich are 2 of the toughest young players around, and Jake Cody and Gus Hansen might as well be from Mercury, given how hot they've been running. In the last 12 months, Cody has seemingly won every tournament he entered. Meanwhile, Hansen is an improbable 12-0 in his last 12 World Series heads-up matches, and that doesn't include winning with the ladies.
Hansen's win streak is impressive. He puts that on the line against Jake Cody a little bit later on. Waiting to enter the poker arena, Eric Froehlich and Yevgeniy Timoshenko, who's looking for his first World Series bracelet. This is a heads-up tournament with a twist. Each player starts with 1/3 of their entire stack. Each player can add on the other 2/3 at any time except during a hand. These add-ons help reduce the luck factor by essentially giving the players a chance to rebuy.
And none of the other rounds were, of course.
By the way, did we play in another tournament together?
We played in this tournament last year.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, round 1.
In the 10K? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yevgeniy's mind like a steel trap, Norman. The active stack for each player, 800,000 chips. The green icons on the graphic indicate how many add-ons each player has remaining. Ace-6 for Eric Froehlich. He's going to raise it to 25,000. Ace-6 also for Timoshenko.
They have the same hand line, but I've got to give Timoshenko the sartorial edge here.
He makes the call. Blinds at 5 and 10,000. Flop 5, king, king, 1 spade. Timoshenko still with a slight chance of a flush. He checks. Froehlich checks. Turn card 4 of diamonds means a chop if they show down.
Well, and heads up, when it's checked to you on the flop, you take down a lot of pots by betting.
Yevgeniy keeps it friendly. Froehlich's going to bet it.
Well, now Froehlich will try to take it down by betting the turn.
And he will take it down as Timoshenko lays down.
In 2005, Froehlich was the youngest ever at the time to win a bracelet, 21 years, 116 days old.
3 chip denominations in play. The yellow is worth 1,000, the pink's 5,000, and they also have a 25,000 green chip. Action will be on Yevgeniy Timoshenko, who says he can take some creative lines at the table. He likes to experiment. He has 9 tray.
Timoshenko's strength probably is his reading ability. Froehlich, on the other hand, can be hyper-aggressive.
A raise from Timoshenko to 22,000. Froehlich calls with 5-4 off. The flop is tray Ace-7, a pair of trays for Timoshenko. Froehlich is double-gutted. He checks. 25,000 from Timoshenko. And Froehlich will make the call.
Eric being hyper passive right now.
Turn card is a deuce of clubs. That gives Froehlich a wheel and a hammerlock on his hand. He checks. Timoshenko checks back. River card. 6 of spades. Eric just improved to a 7 high straight.
Froehlich had hoped Timoshenko would bet the turn. Now he'll have to do his own bidding.
He bet 66,000 into Timoshenko.
66,000.
Timoshenko with a glance at his cards before they go into the muck, and Froehlich takes another pot.
Good fold. And Froehlich perhaps pondering his youth when he was hyper aggressive.
So Efro with a small early lead in this semifinal match, much to the delight of his cheering section.
A little fist pump. I guess that's his touchdown dance.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Froehlich with the edge with 2 World Series wins, twice the earnings as Timoshenko. Eric, though, has been coming here a lot longer than the 23-year-old.
It would be morally reprehensible to root against someone nicknamed Jovial Gent. Huh?
I agree. All right, Timoshenko on the Jack Link's beef jerky hole cam, 7-6 off.
Timoshenko, born in the Ukraine, moved to the state of Washington when he was 8.
A raise to 25,000, 10-9 for Froehlich. He makes the call.
Froehlich was born just outside of the United States in New Jersey.
Both in with unsuited connectors. Here's the flop. It is King 5-7, a pair of 7s for Timoshenko to lead. Froehlich checks. Timoshenko, 26,000.
Froehlich with no hand, no draw.
But chips in hand and some green chips, a raise to 85,000.
There's the hyper aggression we talked about.
Timoshenko just with the call with middle pair.
Timoshenko, a non-believer.
Froehlich has been down in a number of matches leading to the semifinal. Has always overcome his opponent. A tray of diamonds keeps Timoshenko ahead. Froehlich checks.
Froehlich shuts it down. Or he could be setting Timoshenko up for another hyper-aggressive check raise.
Timoshenko doesn't seem worried about that. Bets 110,000. And Froehlich gives it up.
Timoshenko knew exactly where he was in that hand.
And that sent a strong signal to Eric Froehlich. So Timoshenko with the lead now in this semifinal heads-up match. It took him a little while, but he does drag a pot. Early sparring here at the World Series of Poker 25K Heads-Up Championship.
The 2011 World Series of Poker is presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And in part by WSOPacademy.com. Instant online training from world champions is just a click away.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for more of the 2011 World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Yevgeniy Timoshenko and Eric Froehlich battling in our first heads-up semifinal. Here are Eric and Yevgeniy on the meaning of the add-on.
The add-on chips, I think, changed the strategy in the heads-up tournament. In those situations where you might get coolered or lose a big hand where there's nothing you could do, gives you a chance to not be eliminated yet.
If your opponent is very good deep stacked and he buys in immediately, you should probably buy in for 1 bullet if he's gonna play deep stacked very well. Because if you buy in for 1 bullet, that really extends the match and that gives you time to rebuy at the later levels if you want to.
I don't like the add-on chips, Lon, because it's another layer of strategy of which I have no clue.
The blinds at 6 and 12,000. Now pocket 10s for Timoshenko.
Raise.
He's going to raise it up to 25,000. Froehlich with Queen 7 off.
Froehlich was the #1 ranked Magic the Gathering player in the world in 2002.
And he re-raises to 87,000.
What did you have behind? About 500?
Exactly 500. And remember, that's 500,000 of his first stack.
I'm all in.
Timoshenko raises Eric all in.
That's an easy 4-bet all in for Timoshenko. Pocket 10, such a monster. Heads up.
And Froehlich gets rid of his rags. Timoshenko with another pot. For someone who has achieved so much success, Yevgeniy Timoshenko remains grounded, and for a good reason.
I think it's very flattering when people say I'm a poker prodigy. I think I'm very good at the game. I think I got good at the game through hard work and through studying and through playing a lot of hands and then reviewing sessions and just thinking about the game. I'm 23, but I started playing when I was 16, so I've had a lot of years to sort of study and work hard. I think I'm very composed just because I had a very good upbringing. My mom is just very, very smart, and she's just such a kind and selfless person that I sort of followed by example. I really like the way my mom handles herself.
Yevgeny called himself a play chip shark when he was playing online as a teenager.
Family very important to both these players. With his winnings from his first bracelet, Froehlich helped his family pay off the mortgage and college bills. With 9-8, he raises to $26,000.
Timoshenko said it was a big adjustment going from play money to real money. Sure it is. It's like the difference between being engaged and being married.
With an ace, Timoshenko re-raises to $72,000. He got Eric to fold with a big re-raise in the prior hand. But Eric is going to come along here with a call.
Froehlich dropped out of the University of Virginia to become a poker pro.
All right, here's the flop. $144,000 in the pot. 7, king, 6, middle pair for Timoshenko. Froehlich is open-ended.
Action flop line, like in the movies.
The yellow bar around the player's name indicates it's their turn to act. A bet of $60,000 from Timoshenko. You see that Eric has 428,000 chips left in play.
No.
And he moves them all in.
How much is that?
Timoshenko with middle pair and an ace and a decision.
I call.
Makes the call. Timoshenko and Froehlich in a true coin flip, 50-50 for 1 million chips.
Good luck.
Good luck. The jovial gent's just too nice.
Here's the turn card. And a 10 for Froehlich. He hits the straight, and he will double up.
See, he shouldn't have wished him good luck.
And Froehlich at the other end of the straight on the river just to rub it in for good measure.
Man, that's like a fist pump you learn in the Peace Corps.
Eric Froehlich said this 25K heads-up field may have been the toughest World Series field ever. He had a very difficult draw. He opened up by beating your man, Patrick Antonius, Norman.
I don't mind him beating Patrick as long as he didn't mess up his face.
Timoshenko's path was no cakewalk. Daniel Jungleman Cates and Olivier Busquet stood in his way. 2 heads-up specialists who definitely made life difficult for Yevgeny.
I'll use my chip.
Timoshenko elects to use one of his add-ons and brings 800,000 more chips into play. And you can see that Timoshenko has just one 800,000 chip add-on remaining. Eric Froehlich. King of hearts, 6 of diamonds. He'll make a raise from the button to 45,000.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see Froehlich limping from the button.
Ace deuce off for Timoshenko.
The weak ace in a full game is trouble. Any ace in heads up, though, is usually pretty good.
He makes a call for 25,000 more. The flop now. Jack, queen, 9. Froehlich picks up a straight draw. Timoshenko still favored, though. He checks.
My hyper-aggressive friend is supposed to bet here and take it down.
He does not. Turn card is an ace, and that hits Timoshenko. He's a 10-1 favorite now. Yevgeny checks again.
I like that check. It might induce my hyper-aggressive friend to take a stab at this.
And here he comes. Eric Froehlich bet 62,000. Timoshenko just with the call. Froehlich looking for a 10 on the river. But that 7 is a blank to Froehlich. Yevgeny checks again.
Hoping Froehlich takes another stab at it.
But Froehlich checks back, and Timoshenko with his pair of aces will take another pot from Eric Froehlich.
What are all the sound effects?
Huh?
What is that sigh for?
The sigh? The sigh is you even bet the river. I played it like a jack. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Bomb it on the river.
I don't think you're calling with worse.
Huh?
So I don't think you're ever calling with worse.
Yevgeny had hoped that he had disguised his aces and that Eric would bet the river.
Seems like you got a 10 or you got me beat.
Yevgeny now with another ace. Ace-6 off.
When I was Timoshenko's age, I had that exact same haircut, but I think it looks better on him.
Timoshenko with a raise to 40,000. 10-5 suited for Froehlich.
When I was Froehlich's age, I had that exact same sweater, but I think it looked better on me.
Eric called for 20,000 more. The flop, Queen 5-6. Both pair their lower card. Timoshenko's is best. Froehlich checks.
Middle pair top kicker for Timoshenko. In my family, we call that lunch money.
45,000 is the bet from Yevgeniy. Froehlich with bottom pair, and he'll stick around. Turn card. Ace is up now for Timoshenko. The turn has been good to him lately. Froehlich checks again.
Ace is up. In my family, we call that Sunday brunch.
That's more expensive than lunch, and Yevgeniy makes it more expensive to stick around. 120,000.
Come on, Eric. Give us some action with bottom pair. We're hungry.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be there. So Froehlich once again looking for help on the river. It's a tray of clubs, and that misses Froehlich. And he checks once again. Yevgeniy with aces up. 280,000.
And Lon and my family, if we can get a call here, we're going to Sizzler.
Big decision for Eric.
Well, since the draw came in, Efro surprised that Timoshenko bet. He's supposed to be afraid of that river.
Good call.
He does make the call. And he'll have to ship more chips to Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
Steak and Malibu chicken with a baked potato.
I love the Texas toast. Timoshenko takes 500,000 chips off Froehlich as these two Americans joust for a shot at World Series of Poker glory. Only one will advance to the finals and play for the bracelet. Welcome back to Las Vegas as Yevgeniy Timoshenko and Eric Froehlich battle heads up for a spot in the finals and a shot at a World Series bracelet. Yevgeniy Timoshenko has already brought one of his add-ons into play, so the players are about even. Eric Froehlich looks down at an ace, ace-queen.
Froehlich good friends with fellow bracelet winner David Williams, another Magic alum.
A raise to 48,000 from Froehlich. Pocket eights for Timoshenko.
Timoshenko good friends with Galen Hall, who won an NAPT title earlier this year and is here sweating him.
A re-raise to 124.
All in.
Froehlich re-raises all in.
I call.
And with the pocket pair, Timoshenko makes the call to put Froehlich in danger of losing his initial stack.
Bang, bang. The cards pretty much played themselves.
Almost 1.5 million up for grabs.
Good luck.
He's wishing him good luck again? Doesn't this kid learn?
He is confident, if nothing else. The flop, deuce 9 king, nothing there for Froehlich. Turn card. Tray of clubs. Timoshenko still good. One card from taking Froehlich's opening stack.
Froehlich needs an ace or a queen, or he is wamboozled for the first third of his chips.
Another 9 and 2 pair wins it for Timoshenko. And that will force Froehlich to use an add-on chip in this semifinal match. Yevgeniy supporters like that. You mentioned Galen Hall. He's on the right. Dylan Wilkerson also here.
Yevgeniy sighs a lot. I can recommend a doctor for that.
It is time now for the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand. And it's in the hands of Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
No, it's in my hands.
Pick a hand, Norman Chad.
Well, with that raise, I'm going to put Timoshenko on an ace. It's a feel thing.
Froehlich with queen 9 off. Calls the raise of Timoshenko. The flop, 8 ace queen. Queens for Froehlich. He checks.
We're going to get a continuation bet from Timoshenko. He's representing the ace.
70,000.
The ace is choice B, ace 4 off.
With middle pair, Froehlich calls. Turn card now is another ace. So if you're right, he's got a good hand.
Well, you see another ace out there. It's less likely Timoshenko has the ace, but he's betting at it like he does.
After Froehlich checked, Timoshenko does bet 150,000.
Since he's continued to bet, I'm going to eliminate the pocket fives possibility. I think they would have slowed down. And choice A, 6-3, only if he's trying to do a wild bluff.
Eric Froehlich calls for 150,000. To the river they go. It's a king And that's got to worry Froehlich as well.
Yeah, Froehlich's been check calling the whole way, hoping his queens are good.
He does check a third time. Timoshenko doesn't look like he's going to check back 450,000 into a pot of 560.
Oh, that smells like choice B, ace 4.
Froehlich with just a pair of queens and the aces on board. Lays down his hand. Timoshenko did have ace 4. You were right, Norman. And he'll win the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand.
I like multiple choice line. It gives me a 1 in 4 chance of being right. That's much higher than my usual odds.
Yevgeniy Timoshenko stacking the chips again. A little bit earlier, our sideline reporter Kara Scott had a chance to talk with Eric Froehlich. Kara?
I spoke to Eric at the break, and he said to me he's not going to use his last add-on until all the rest of the chips are gone. He said he's really comfortable with the maths at this relative chip stack, and also he doesn't want to get coolered and not have that backup. But of course, the blinds are going up. There's a lot of pressure, so don't expect either of them to sit back.
He's known as E-Fro, but I call him E5 o'clock shadow.
Timoshenko with a solid lead right now on Froehlich. Both have used one add-on. Timoshenko with a suited ace.
Timoshenko's nickname is Jovial Gent. It should be I take your chips.
He raises Froehlich all in.
Call.
With pocket eights, Eric Froehlich calls all in.
Don't wish him good luck.
Good luck.
Boy, his mother raised him too good.
The flop is 4 Jack Deuce. Froehlich's eights are still good.
This is a big race in determining the outcome of this match.
The turn card. Timoshenko spikes an ace on the turn again.
Ace from space.
Froehlich now will need an 8 from space or he's down to his last add-on.
The river card is a 10. Timoshenko wins another race and celebrates with Galen Hall felting Froehlich again. These two players are evenly matched.
Can't get unluckier.
But Eric can't catch a break.
All in.
Call.
Good luck.
Can't get unluckier.
Fortunes change quickly here at the Rio. Right now, Eric Froehlich has very little ammunition left. He's down 4-1 in chips and has no add-ons left. After a bit of a slow start, Yevgeniy Timoshenko has been a runaway train.
Let's go, E-Fro.
The deck has not been kind to E-Fro. He's had trouble even making a pair.
Eric working with his last add-on. But with the blinds at 30 and 60,000, he has only 13 big blinds to work with. And on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky whole cam, Queen of Clubs, 5 of Clubs. And Eric moves all in. Timoshenko with an ace, surprise, ace 4.
He's been an ace magnet.
He can try and end the match right here.
I call.
He does call, and he'll be ahead of Froehlich's Queen 5.
Froehlich pushes with a so-so hand and a good call from Timoshenko.
Eric Froehlich looking for help. Timoshenko 5 blanks from moving on to the finals.
What, he's not going to wish him good luck this time? That's poor sportsmanship.
Eric Froehlich sees Jack King 6. No queen, no 5 for Eric.
Nothing much there for E5 o'clock shadow.
Yevgeniy Timoshenko looking to avoid trouble on the turn.
Froehlich looks like he's thinking of a special place far, far away.
Turn card 4 of clubs. That pairs Timoshenko and gives Froehlich additional outs.
Some life now for Eric Froehlich. He needs a Queen 5 or any club to stick around.
The river card, a tray of diamonds, and Yevgeniy Timoshenko defeats Eric Froehlich to move into the finals.
Timoshenko 1 win away from his first bracelet.
What's that?
Confidence plays such a large role, and heads up, Yevgeniy Timoshenko barely broke a sweat as he's one step from a bracelet. He now awaits his next opponent, which will be either Gus Hansen or Jake Cody, who will soon begin their semifinal. It's a very interesting matchup. On paper, though, I think it's Hansen with the edge. Let's go down to Kara Scott, who is with our semifinal victor.
Congratulations to you, Yevgeniy. That was a fantastic matchup. Tell me what you think the biggest difference was between you and your opponent today.
Well, I think I just came in with a lot of confidence. I played a lot of heads up coming into this event, and I I've had some really tough matches, and I persevered, and I've won every match so far. So I was just very positive coming into the match. I had high expectations. I thought I was gonna play my best, and I think I did that today.
Who would you rather play, Gus or Jake?
I really don't know. Gus might be more experienced in heads up, so probably Jake, although I really don't know much about him, whereas Gus, I've played with him online.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Yevgeniy lost to Froehlich in last year's World Series heads-up event. Tonight, he returns the beat, and Yevgeniy Timoshenko now is one step from a bracelet. 3 World Series of Poker bracelets were given out recently, and the first-timer trend continued. Harrison Wilder won the $1,500 limit hold'em event. His parents actually encouraged him to drop out of school and pursue poker. Israeli businessman Amir Lehavot took down the 10K pot limit hold'em championship, and former real estate agent Sean Getzweiler banked over $600,000 in a 1K buy-in event.
I feel good. I mean, I've been wanting a bracelet for a long time.
Congratulations to those first-time bracelet winners. So 22-year-old Jake Cody and 37-year-old Gus Hansen have taken their seats, getting ready for the second semifinal match. One of them will meet Yevgeniy Timoshenko for a bracelet in this 25K heads-up championship. Let's check in right now with the third member of our broadcast team, Kara Scott, for a pre-match report.
Although Jake Cody already has an EPT and a WPT title behind him, he's a relative unknown here at the World Series of Poker. In fact, Gus said to me before the match started, the only thing he knows about Jake Cody is his name. As for Jake, he says that might work to his advantage, as Gus won't know what to expect out of him. But with 2 such unpredictable players at the felt, anything could happen.
Action on Jake Cody with Queen 9 off.
Cody in and out of college in the UK, studying psychology before leaving school for good once poker clicked.
A raise to $25,000 gets a call from Hansen with Queen Jack of diamonds, the flop. Deuce 5-9. Cody outflops Hansen, catching top pair, but it's Hansen reaching for chips. He bets $35,000. On his graphic, Hansen flying the flag of Monaco where he lives, Cody from England, and Cody makes the call.
Hansen bluffs at it, and Cody casually calls it.
Turn card is the 7 of diamonds, Gus with a flush draw.
Gus probably happy to see he's picked up a draw. Hansen, the first 3-time WPT titleist, known for his massive swings in nosebleed online games.
He bets 2/3 of the pot, $83,000.
Gus hopes those 83,000 chips are a down payment on a flush.
Cody, pretty much a stranger to Gus Hansen, makes the call.
So Gus upgrades to a semi-bluff, and Jake casually calls again.
8 of clubs misses Gus. Cody is best with top pair.
Gus's face is trying to twist that board into something.
Gus remains aggressive, $202,000.
Gus fires 3 straight barrels of bluff. Cody still got top pair, but there's a 4-card straight on the board, and Gus has been a wild banshee of betting.
A call.
I don't think I can win. I have a queen.
Good call by Jake Cody.
And his pair of 9s will take the pot.
It's good. You have a queen too.
And that's a pot of almost $700,000 to Jake Cody. All right, let's check in with former FBI agent Joe Navarro, who might be able to tell us what all those facial expressions of Gus Hansen really mean.
As we look at Hansen, there's a couple of behaviors that I think are very significant. Number one, look at the eyes. When the eyes are narrow, when the forehead is furrowed, the person is concentrating because they perceive themselves as marginal or weak. But more importantly is lip pursing. Lip pursing is about 95% accurate in telling others that we are not confident, that we perceive ourselves as weak or marginal. And in this case, it clearly shows that he perceives himself as not being the strongest hand, and it's an extremely accurate poker tell.
I did some research, Lon. Half of Denmark makes a Gus Hansen face. The other half makes a Peter Eastgate face.
I think they're teaching it in the schools, Norman. 8 tray for Gus Hansen. He limps in from the button.
Boy, in the Timoshenko-Froehlich match, there was not a single limp from the button pre-flop.
9-7 off for Cody, and he checks his option. These two will see a flop for the minimum. 6-8 deuce, a pair of eights for Hansen. Up and down straight draw for Cody. He bets 13,000. Hansen with a quick raise to 35,000.
Gus has changed his style. He's not as loose. He now tends to be passive pre-flop, aggressive post-flop.
But he uses that old reputation to his advantage. Cody makes the call, looking for help. Turn card, 6 of clubs. That misses Jake Cody. Cody checks.
Gus seems almost distracted as he's betting.
And with the best hand, he bets 62,000. Cody, a 3-1 dog after the turn. Wow, a big stack of greens. He raises Gus all in.
That's a massive check raise. Where did that come from? Gus tried to bluff Jake on the last hand we saw. Now Jake turns the tables with a big semi-bluff here on the turn.
Gus would need all of his active stack to call this.
All right.
He lays down the best hand to Jake Cody.
Cody 2, Hansen nothing.
I think you're going to take all of the rest.
That very impressive move by Jake Cody creates even more contortions on Gus Hansen's face. We've got ourselves a good battle here at the Rio. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to the Rio for the World Series of Poker 25K Heads-Up Championship. Before the break, we saw Jake Cody push Gus Hansen off the best hand. Here's a pro's take on what happened.
Hi, I'm Brandon Adams, and I'm going to go over a hand just played between Jake Cody and Gus Hansen. Here we saw an ultra-aggressive line by Jake Cody. He bet out on the flop out of position, which is a play most pros don't make. And he was then raised by Gus Hansen, who had top pair. He decided just to call. Then a 6 came on the turn, which on the face of it was bad for Jake's hand, except that he decided to make a huge bluff against Gus. He checked. Gus bet top pair for value, and then Jake made a raise with only an open-ended straight draw. This hand was quite simply Jake Cody beating the Great Dane at his own game by taking an ultra-aggressive line.
Thanks, Brandon. Jake's aggression and the fact that Gus knows so little about him are paying dividends for the Englishman. Cody with ace-10 off.
The 10-week-old barber strike in Las Vegas has just crippled Jake Cody.
He limps in for 8,000.
Changes up by limping on the button. I thought Gus was going to be the only one doing that tonight.
King-queen suited for Gus.
Gus was on People Magazine's 50 Sexiest Men Alive list in 2004. I recognized it earlier.
He raises to 60,000. Could have seen a cheap flop.
Well, Gus does have a pretty strong hand, and with Cody limping, he sensed weakness. That's not the case.
All in.
Call.
All in.
And all in and call. Wow, just the type of pre-flop gamble Gus told us he was hoping to avoid, but he brought it on himself. Wow. Ace-10 ahead of the king-queen for Hansen.
For Gus now, all in for his first third of his chips.
I'll take any picture card, I guess.
Here's the flop. No picture cards there.
No picture. And no hope yet for Gus Hansen.
Ace-high still best for Jake Cody. Turn card now. Another 6, no help to Gus.
Gus Hansen's going to need a king or a queen, or he will be using his first add-on.
It's a tray of clubs. Cody's ace kicker will win the hand and earn him Gus Hansen's opening stack of 800,000. Cody has the very vocal support of many fellow Brits here in the poker arena.
That was an ugly hand.
Well, it's been all Jake Cody so far, and Gus can only talk to himself.
Cody up to 1.6 million on the table, plus he's got both add-ons available. He got the best of Gus there. He also got the best of 5 other players to make the semifinals. Brandon Adams, a tough first-round opponent. Then he beat 2010 World Series Player of the Year Frank Casella. Gus Hansen took down a murderer's row, including Jason Mercier, the always dangerous Daniel Alai, and Tom Durdwan.
I once beat Alai and Dwan to the bathroom here at the Rio.
That's quite an accomplishment in itself, Norman. Gus Hansen in a hole early in this semifinal matchup with Jake Cody, having used one of his add-ons already. The winner here will meet Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have they been drinking, or is it just normal behavior?
They have been drinking, but it probably wouldn't make a difference.
It looks like they've been drinking, and looks like they are drinking.
Just curious. It's quite funny.
Gus Hansen looking to make a comeback against the young Englishman. 8-5 off for Gus.
Gus has won 12 straight World Series heads-up matches, going back to World Series Europe, looking for his second straight heads-up bracelet.
Hansen limped in. Cody with King-8 of hearts checks his option. The flop, 7-9-7, 2 hearts. Hansen with a gut shot. Cody, king high and a flush draw. He checks.
20,000.
Hansen bets 20,000.
In the round of 16 at that World Series Europe heads-up event, Hansen beat Phil Ivey. He says he played horribly, but just got lucky.
Cody makes the call for 20,000. Turn card now. The 4 of spades misses both players. Cody still with the advantage with that king high. Checks again. The door's open for Gus. 62,000.
We've seen this before. Gus Hansen firing away. Jake Cody standing his ground.
No check raise with the draw from Cody this time. Just a call. River card now. And a river king seals the deal for Jake Cody. He's got kings up. He checks. Hansen checks.
Gus picked a good time to give up. The river bluff would not have worked.
And Jake Cody's got him again.
Kings?
Yes, kings.
I cannot beat kings.
I love the way Gus loses, and it's been all Jake Cody.
And in this second semifinal, Gus Hansen trying to figure out the young Brit. Gus Hansen's 12-match World Series heads-up win streak is in danger.
I cannot beat kings.
A second bracelet is slipping away.
The 2011 World Series of Poker is presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And in part by the official WSOP game on Facebook. Play online now. For details, go to facebook.com/WSOP.
The crowd inside the Rio is fully warmed up. Look for an explosion if Brit Jake Cody can close this out. Jake with a monster lead on Gus Hansen in this semifinal. The winner to face Yevgeniy Timoshenko for the bracelet. Gus Hansen hoping to get some cards to work with. Jack 5 offsuit.
This match has been shockingly one-sided.
He limps for 12,000. Cody checks his option with 10-6 off. Passive play pre-flop again. The flop, 9-4-6 middle pair for Cody. Hansen comes up empty. Cody checks.
Gus says, why would I hit anything?
Turn card now, 5 of diamonds. Hansen gets a pair of 5s, but he's second best yet again. Cody checked, 25,000 from Hansen and a call.
I don't think we've seen Gus make a bet tonight when he's been ahead.
River card, 7 of clubs. Cody's 6s are best.
Cody with third pair.
And chips in hand, 35,000.
A thin value bet. The last time I made a thin value bet, Lana, I proposed to my second wife.
Bad beat for her. Hansen.
I have no idea if Gus is considering folding, calling, or raising.
He calls.
I guess that's a thin value call.
And Gus sees the bad news.
It's good.
It's good. Jake Cody's been hearing a lot of that from Gus Hansen tonight.
Boy, it's as if Jake Cody is pitching a shutout against Gus Hansen.
Cody's active stack up to about 2 million. Hansen below 400,000 right now. And Gus Hansen perhaps trying to burn off some of the anxiety he's feeling at being beaten so soundly thus far.
Well, if I knew Gus were playing tonight in sandals, I never would have bet on him in the sportsbook. Jake Cody at peace.
All right, Cody looks down at Queen 4. And he's going to give Gus a rare walk. Wow, good timing. Gus had ace-9.
Too many good decisions. Too many good decisions.
Gus with one of his best starting hands of the night and can't benefit from it. No missteps from Jake Cody yet. And he's wearing good shoes.
All right, so Gus Hansen trying to get something going. He has used one of his add-ons. Cody, of course, has both of his remaining should he need them. Hansen with pocket eights. That's a good starting hand. Gus is going to raise it up to 56,000.
No limping pre-flop from Gus this time.
King 10 off from Cody.
Come on.
And he raises Gus all in.
Player moves all in.
Hansen makes the call with the eights.
An automatic raise and call from Gus at this stage of the match. And looky here, Gus with the upper hand, a rare sight tonight.
All right, here's the flop. Oh, and a 10 in the window. And Cody with top pair takes the lead. Surprise.
Gus now in terrible shape. He does have one add-on left.
Turn card. Tray of hearts. No help to Gus Hansen.
Gus is going to need more than a sip of water to get back into this match. Gus Hansen's got to have an 8 or he'll be down to his final add-on.
The river is a queen, and that means Gus Hansen is felted again by Jake Cody, and he's down to his last stack of chips.
And another round of drinks for the British Empire.
Well, nothing seems to be going right for the Great Dane. When Gus Hansen had a chance to win a big pot, he folded the best hand to Cody's slick check-raise bluff. He's lost both of his all-ins, and that means he is left in a severe chip disadvantage to Jake Cody, as Gus Hansen has used his last add-on.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect from this match, Lon, but I didn't expect this.
Young Jake Cody has dominated bracelet winner Gus Hansen so far, and he is close to finishing off Hansen.
It's possible.
Hansen looks down at 9-8 off.
Gus only with the one bracelet from Europe, but he's never played in that many World Series events. Winning a bracelet, not a priority to him.
Gus with the unsuited connectors. Raises to 66,000. Cody with a big hand, ace-queen.
Cody was going to play in multiple events here last year, but on the way to the airport, his taxi hit a deer, which he took as a bad omen, so he postponed his trip and only played in the main event.
And he re-raises Gus all in. And Hansen folds quickly.
Gus Hansen not going to make his final stand here.
Jake Cody had options on what tactics to use with the ace-queen, opted for the hammer and the small pot.
Gus Hansen running out of options. Nothing has worked tonight against Jake Cody.
Among Cody's goals for this year, win a bracelet, take more pictures on the road, and give lots of money to charity. Ace-5 of spades for Cody.
You know, Lon, when Jake's taxi hit that deer, that was really a bad omen for the deer.
Yeah, it was. You're right, indeed. He limps for 15,000. Hansen with ace-4.
Gus wishes his taxi would have hit a deer this morning. He might have stayed home.
Or is this Gus's night or what? He's got an ace, but he's dominated. He's going to raise it up to 98,000.
Gus turning up the heat. You can't blame him with the ace, but he's in bad shape.
And a re-raise all in from Cody.
This would be for all of Gus's remaining chips.
He has no add-ons left.
With a bigger ace, this would be an automatic call for Gus.
But here, he's left to try to figure out Jake Cody, which he has not been able to do all night.
I haven't been making too many right decisions. He hasn't made one wrong. He hasn't made one wrong.
That's a pretty good assessment.
I don't know.
Gus has won 12 straight World Series heads-up matches.
This I don't know.
But tonight, I don't think he could beat his own shadow.
I put in 100. I'm gonna call.
Gus will make the call all in, and he is in trouble. Jake Cody can advance right here.
Another unfortunate decision on a very unfortunate day for Gus Hansen.
It's not the worst matchup for me.
Yeah, with the two small aces, a chance for a chop pot here. Jake Cody trying to move into the finals against Yevgeniy Timoshenko. The flop. 6-8 king, all hearts.
Oh, 3 hearts. I don't even have hearts. That's sad.
Nothing going right for Gus.
Okay. No 5 and no deuce or no 3.
A 74% chance of a chop pot. And there's a 5 for Cody. But Gus Hansen has outs.
Hansen now needs another heart to come out and they split the pot. Or a 7 gives him a straight. Otherwise, it's over.
The river card is another 6. Jake Cody prevails in dominating fashion over Gus Hansen.
What a performance tonight by Jake Cody and earlier by Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
Cody moves into the finals and accepts a well done from his mates on the rail. Gus Hansen earns almost $284,000 for another great heads-up run. So Jake Cody one step away from a bracelet and poker's Triple Crown, and this closes the book on Gus Hansen. So our final is set. A 22-year-old Brit and a 23-year-old American battling for the title, Cody and Timoshenko. Someone will win their first bracelet. Let's go down to Kara Scott, who was with Jake Cody.
You seem to dominate this entire match all the way from the beginning. Talk to me about how you feel about the way you played.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way I played, actually. I think that was actually the match I played the best in. Like, out of all the matches, I think I seemed to make really good decisions and had momentum the whole match, and just things that, like, some major parts went my way, and that just I kind of just went from there and just like kept the pressure on.
Well, you certainly brought a rowdy rail with you. So what was that like, winning here in front of all of them?
That was awesome. I mean, it's great to have them all behind me. I mean, yeah, it's great.
Talk to me about what it would mean to win your very first bracelet, to add to your EPT and WPT titles.
Yeah, this is it. A bit speechless, actually. I'm excited, but I'm ready.
Well, good luck out there in the final. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
In the race to 7 wins, Yevgeniy Timoshenko and Jake Cody each took step number 6.
I don't think I can win. I cannot beat kings.
Gus Hansen's impressive heads-up win streak ended at 12. But for Cody and Timoshenko, one more victory means bracelet number 1.
Good luck.
For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. 2 kids still bracelet hunting. Triple Crown is not a term used lightly in sports. In poker, it requires a hot streak and unrelenting focus. Tonight, 22-year-old British pro Jake Cody can become the youngest ever to win poker's Triple Crown. All that's missing is the bracelet.
What a performance tonight by Jake Cody.
Jake Cody prevails in dominating fashion.
The World Series for Poker bracelet is one of the biggest things you can win in poker. To have the chance at the Triple Crown now, that would be incredible.
23-year-old Yevgeniy Timoshenko stands between Cody and poker history.
I'm very competitive, and winning a World Series of Poker bracelet would really tie together my poker resume.
Timoshenko and Cody are coming down the stretch, both looking for their first bracelet. Cody looking for the Triple Crown. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the 2011 World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. We are just one match away from awarding a bracelet in one of the most prestigious events of the year, the 25K Heads Up Championship. Daniel Negreanu and Antonio Esfandiari did not make the finals, but they and other top pros are hanging around the Rio. The 2 players who did, Ukrainian-born Yevgeniy Timoshenko and Brit Jake Cody, both anxiously awaiting to get their gold bracelet match underway. Hi, everyone. Lon McCarran along with Norman Chad. After 126 heads-up matches, we've got just one left for the bracelet. Jake Cody and Yevgeniy Timoshenko one-on-one for the 25K World Series of Poker Heads-Up Championship. Both players looking for their first World Series title, and they both have survived one of the toughest fields in World Series history.
Lon, it's a familiar story of late. Every year we get older, and every year this game gets younger. The best in the world gathered to compete for this prestigious bracelet, and in the end, a 22-year-old and a 23-year-old meet for the title. Are Jake Cody and Yevgeniy Timoshenko talented and aggressive? Were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid armed and dangerous? We have a fabulous final for you here tonight between 2 young guns.
As you mentioned, Norman, both players seeking bracelet number 1, but for other World Series-related stats, the edge has to go to Timoshenko.
The Grim Reaper versus the Jovial Gent. That seems like a black hat, white hat showdown.
The poker arena is alive with fans of both finalists. Heads-up play has become such a big part of the poker scene, and the all-star field of 128 has been boiled down to the 2 talented pros seated here right now. Yevgeniy Timoshenko on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky whole cam with pocket jacks.
Timoshenko beat Eric Froehlich in his semifinal. It pretty much went all his way.
A raise to 45,000 from Timoshenko. Pocket fours for Jake Cody.
Cody obliterated Gus Hansen in his semifinal. Gus is going to be in therapy for weeks.
Cody with the call. You hear his fans in the stands. Well, get used to it. The flop. King 10-9. Timoshenko's jacks at a gut shot. Cody checks. Timoshenko checks. Turn card. Ace of diamonds, no help to Cody and his pocket fours. He checks again.
Cody not in the mood to steal.
Timoshenko thinks no more free cards for you. 50,000. And Cody kicks in his fours right away. Jake Cody giving up chips to Timoshenko early. And Timoshenko also has a boisterous rooting section. The tournament structure for this event is unique. Timoshenko and Cody each started with 1/3 of their total chips. They have 2 add-ons worth $1.6 million apiece that they can use at any time except during a hand. In effect, players can have 3 chances to attack their opponent.
This format reduces the luck factor a bit. If you get coolered in one all-in situation, you get to reload with more chips.
That bracelet would be a first for either player. Cody, King 10.
Cody in his signature hoodie, which he bought at Disneyland.
He limps in for 10,000. Jack 8 for Timoshenko.
Timoshenko wore a charcoal pinstripe suit when he won the 09 WPT Championship.
Gotta love that. He checks his option. 10-8 deuce. Cody flops top pair to increase his lead. Timoshenko pairs his 8 and checks. Cody's gonna bet 25,000.
Both these players have worked hard to get so good so young. Cody studies the game constantly. Timoshenko likes to review hand histories online, considering different approaches afterward.
Yevgeniy called. The turn is Jack of diamonds. Timoshenko turns the tables. He now leads with jacks up. Timoshenko checked it.
Cody's pretty comfortable with his hand.
He loves to be aggressive. 65,000 is the bet.
I believe it is a well-lubricated crowd.
On both sides of the arena, a call from Timoshenko with his leading 2 pair. The river card is a 5, brings no help to Jake Cody. Timoshenko checks the 3rd time.
Well, Timoshenko has trapped Cody on this one. The Brit pretty confident second pair is the best hand.
And he does bet 145,000 with his 10s. And you hear the spring on the Timoshenko trap about to unload.
Well, both players happy to see the 5 of spades hit the river. That didn't change a thing.
A raise to 435 from Yevgeniy.
Cody no longer confident second pair is the best hand.
Jake Cody giving this a lot of thought, wondering if indeed he has been trapped, and he'll lay his hand down.
Timoshenko pleased with himself.
Timoshenko takes the pot. Jake Cody, who had a pretty easy time of it against Gus Hansen, wondering if he's met his match here in the Ukrainian-born Timoshenko. And unlike the battle on the felt, this secondary competition between the 2 rooting sections is a draw so far. Let's take a look at the chips in play. The yellow's worth 1,000, the pink's 5,000, the green's worth 25,000, and you saw the new lavender chip worth 100,000. Action on Yevgeniy Timoshenko, 8-4 offsuit.
Timoshenko says some people say he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. I get the same thing about George Clooney.
A raise to 45,000. Cody with Queen 10 comes along for 25 more.
Cody often confused with someone who hasn't gotten a haircut since Easter.
10-9 Queen. That hits Cody's hand. Queen's up for the Brit, and he checks it.
It feels like karaoke night at Club Med in here.
Timoshenko checks. Turn card 7 of spades. Timoshenko now with a 2-way straight draw. Cody is going to bet it, 65,000. Timoshenko folds. That's a scary board. Plus, he's not getting the right price with his draw.
Timoshenko smartly gets away from that draw.
Cody takes that pot, but it's Timoshenko with the early advantage in this heads-up final. Both of these young pros picking up clues on their opponent among the raucous nature of the fans. One of them will earn their first World Series bracelet.
The 2011 World Series of Poker is presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And in part by WSOP Academy.com. Instant online training from world champions is just a click away.
Welcome back to the Rio for the final match of this World Series of Poker 25K Heads-Up Championship. Jake Cody and Yevgeniy Timoshenko each seeking one more win. Before the match began, Timoshenko spoke to us about a common heads-up strategy error.
A mistake that players sometimes make is they play their powerful pre-flop starting hands too aggressively, and they don't mix in enough weaker hands to sort of balance that out. So there's some players that will only 3-bet if they have an ace or better. And against a range like this, there's certain flops that are just more often than not gonna miss them.
I agree with Timoshenko, Lon, but myself, when I'm heads up, I only play solid theoretical poker.
You've been heads up in a tournament?
Next year.
Good luck with that. Each player still has both of their add-ons available to them. And ace king of hearts for Jake Cody. A raise to 45,000.
Notice the small raise size pre-flop, less than 2.5 times the big blind. Younger players seem to prefer this. It gives you more room post-flop.
Jack 9 of clubs for Timoshenko. He will come along for 25,000 more. The flop, 10-5-8. Cody's ace-king still ahead. Timoshenko is open-ended. He checks.
Time for a continuation bet from Jake Cody.
But he checks.
Maybe another time.
Turn card, deuce of spades. Neither player has paired up. Timoshenko checks again. They both check again. The 4 of spades on the river is the 4th spade on board. Neither holds a spade. Cody's ace-king is best.
Timoshenko says, all right, I'll take it now.
60,000. Cody with ace-king into the muck, and Timoshenko will steal that pot.
Well, if Timoshenko had bet on the flop, he would have saved us 2 cards, Lon. That's a turn in a river we didn't need to see.
Jake has 2 jewels of poker's Triple Crown. He won an EPT event in Deauville and a WPT event in London, both in 2010. Timoshenko with the early advantage in this 25K heads-up championship. 10-7 off for Yevgeniy.
Both these guys started playing in their mid-teens.
A raise to 48,000. Jake Cody with trade deuce of clubs. Reaching for some of the green chips. Jake Cody with a raise to 144,000.
Cody doing exactly what we just heard Timoshenko talk about, expanding his raising range, playing a weak hand strongly, and it works.
And that takes down the pot right there. Each player seems to be laser focused on the goal at hand. Jake Cody going for poker's Triple Crown. Yevgeniy also looking for his first World Series of Poker bracelet. Oh, but he also seems to be enjoying the revelry of his fans. Let's go to Kara Scott, who's with someone who knows how to win a bracelet.
So, Jonathan, not too long ago, you were here heads up for quite a big bracelet. What are these guys going through?
It's kind of crazy. It's just, it's like the biggest moment ever. You really want that bracelet when you're there, like, so close. So it's like you don't want to miss that chance. So obviously, like, you want to give everything you can and, like, make no mistakes. There's a lot of pressure, but it's just like an amazing feeling, and definitely, like, you remember that moment for like years and years, and probably for the rest of your life.
You also had a really big crowd and quite vocal. So what's it like to do this in front of your friends and family?
Just amazing to get like all the support for like all your friends and family. It's just like as soon as you win a pot, they're cheering for you. But the more friends you have, like the best feeling it is. So it's kind of cool.
You know, Lon, if the British had this much energy and enthusiasm back in 1776, I don't know if we win that one.
I've been to soccer matches less rowdy than this.
Yeah. Well, I do like the atmosphere here as long as the fans don't interfere with the play. King 8 of hearts for Timoshenko.
Timoshenko with a lot of success in Europe and Australia playing live tournaments before he was 21.
A raise to 48,000, as is the norm for these two. Queen 9 off for Cody.
Cody says he's been on an insane run. He's definitely been in a zone this year and last.
And he's going to re-raise it to 145.
With these two, you're always wondering who's going to punch first and who's going to punch last.
Timoshenko calls for 97,000 more. The flop, 10-5 tray rainbow. King high still best for Timoshenko. Cody checks, as does Yevgeniy. Turn card 7 of hearts. Timoshenko picks up a flush draw.
And that card does nothing for Cody, except remind him he might as well be aggressive.
Cody picking up some chips. He has a lavender chip. He bets 177,000. Timoshenko with the suited king makes the call.
You know, a semi-bluff raise there might have ended matters.
River card. is the deuce of clubs. Timoshenko's king high is best.
So will Cody mount the big bluffing horse again and ride the streets like he's Prince Big Man?
He does just that, Norman, all in for $860,000. Timoshenko gives it up. Cody wins it. Great read or great recklessness, Norman.
Cody might have guessed Timoshenko was on a draw.
Hard to get a read on these players, but that's why we have former FBI agent Joe Navarro on call.
Cody and Timoshenko are heads up, and as we look at their body language, it's rather remarkable. Timoshenko's holding very still, and Cody, as he moves his hands over the chips, he accidentally knocks them down. Well, what does that mean? Usually it indicates that the person is marginal or weak, something to look for. As we look at Timoshenko, notice how still he is. He's almost flash frozen. This is a remarkable behavior because usually when people are holding very still, they're not moving, what they're telling us is, I'm not sure about my hand, I'm not sure about what the other player has, I'm a little bit insecure, and it's a good indicator that the player may perceive themselves as either marginal or weak.
Fumbling chips is something you'll see every day in a card room, Lon, but when I do it, it's just because I'm clumsy.
You're in a card room with chips?
Good for you.
Jake Cody was 7-5 off. And reaching for chips. 65,000 is the raise.
65.
Timoshenko responding to his sharing section. He's got pocket nines.
Wow, this is my favorite song, too.
And with the pocket pair, a re-raise to 185.
Cody will not go quietly here.
He does have a couple lavender chips in hand. And a messy re-raise to 315.
Joe Navarro might tell us that's because he's weak. But this Jake Cody's got a lot of moxie. 4 bets with 7-5 off. I like moxie, but I like Timoshenko's hand more.
Yevgeniy with chips. And a nice, neat re-raise to 720,000.
Great read from Timoshenko.
Jake Cody finally mucks his hand. Timoshenko takes that big pot. Both players sending an unspoken message across the table during that exchange. Timoshenko collects chips and confidence in his quest for glory. The 25K Heads Up Championship continues from the Rio and Las Vegas. American Yevgeniy Timoshenko leading Brit Jake Cody at the moment. Cody enjoying his first World Series of Poker cash, guaranteed over $500,000, ace-6. And just limps. This is Timoshenko's 9th World Series cash. He has 9-4. Timoshenko with a raise to 100,000.
Now it's Timoshenko's turn to get creative.
Cody gives up his weak ace.
Timoshenko, following his own advice from earlier, raising with a weak hand out of position.
These two guys are very tough to figure out heads up. Let's take a look at what Timoshenko and Cody are playing for. A bracelet and over $850,000 to the winner. More than $525,000 to second place. Gus Hansen and Eric Froehlich earned big paychecks for their semifinal finishes.
Both these fellows know hot streaks. In 2010, Cody was European Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year, winning WPT and EPT titles. And in 2009, Timoshenko won the WPT's most prestigious event for $2.1 million, and he won Online Poker's most prestigious event, the World Championship of Online Poker main event, for $1.7 million.
Timoshenko with ace tray raises to 60,000. Oh, and a meaty hand for Cody, ace king.
Cody says his #1 strength at the table is fearlessness.
No need for fearlessness here with ace king. He raises to 170,000. Timoshenko with a weak ace. Smart man. He lays it down.
Disciplined laydown. We've seen both players mucking an ace when the other re-raises.
Cody drags that pot. Lately, he's been dragging a lot of pots all around the world, and he hopes to continue that run here in Las Vegas.
Jake Cody, Rochdale, England, 22 years old. I can't do American accents at all, and I think 90% of the Americans over here have to ask me twice what I'm saying because I speak so fast. I'm here in Vegas with 7 of my really good friends from back home. We're all poker players, and this is where we decided to live for the summer and while we play the World Series. When we were about 15, we used to play for this pool team back in Rochdale. Every Monday, we used to have like the game match against the other team, and then after that, we'd have like a friendly, like just social £5 poker game. Like it kind of went from there really. Obviously we never thought anything would come of it. My life has been turned upside down over the last 2 years or so. It may look like I've like just jumped onto the scene, but there was like a 2 or 3 year period where I was playing non-stop and like not doing so well. It's been a lot harder than people might think.
Why'd they take off the subtitles?
I think we'll be hearing a lot from Jake Cody in the coming years. You'll get used to the thick accent.
I've heard devilfish for years.
All right, Timoshenko looks down at 7-4 offsuit. 23-year-old raises it up to 60,000.
And again, showing us his wide range of heads-up raising hands.
22-year-old with ace-7 off.
Cody living the high life now in a house without a housekeeper, but he was close to quitting this game several times during his downswings.
He makes the call for 30,000. The flop, ace, queen, 5. Cody catches top pair and further disguises it with the check. Timoshenko checks. Turn card, another queen. Cody now with aces up. And he's going to bet this, 70,000.
Cody decides the water is safe to dip a toe into with the best hand.
Timoshenko drawing dead, as you see by the percentage above his name. But that does not deter him. He raises to 220,000.
Man, the waters are choppier than they look, Lon. Timoshenko trying to represent a queen in his hand or a big ace.
Cody trying to suss this out, makes the call.
Cody says, not on my watch.
The river card now. And that puts a third heart on board, a jack. Cody's aces and queens are best. He checks, Timoshenko checks. And Jake Cody will show down the best hand again.
And Timoshenko mucks his hand a couple of 100,000 chips too late.
And that little frown from Timoshenko might indicate he was completely fooled by the line Cody took in that hand. Jake Cody has taken over the chip lead. He's mixing it up in his bid for a World Series gold bracelet. The Las Vegas night awaits a winner. So far this year, every bracelet winner has been a first-timer, including these 3 champions. Matthew Perrins, who won a deuce-to-7 lowball event. Houston Dr. Jeffrey Klein overcame a 9-1 chip deficit to win a no-limit 6-max event.
I got a couple of cards, and he did a big flip at the end, and I won it.
And 22-year-old Russian pro Vyacheslav Zukov won the 10K Omaha 8 or better tournament. The first-timer trend will continue here in this event. Timoshenko and Cody looking for their first bracelet.
And Matt Perrins is a childhood friend of Jake Cody. They grew up together, and from the same small town in England, they both have become world-class players.
This heads-up championship continues to be very close. Neither player has had to use any of their add-on chips so far. Timoshenko on the button with pocket 6s. Timoshenko raises to 80,000. Cody with a suited queen 7.
Cody loves to blog. He blogged a couple years ago about going to a strip bar the night before the Grosvenor UK Poker Tour main event with his girlfriend and Matt Perrins and spending 3,000 pounds there.
190,000 from Cody as he 3-bets it.
He's aggressive everywhere.
Now to Timoshenko.
I'm on.
Moves all in. And Cody folds immediately.
Timoshenko not letting Cody get away with too many 3-bets.
Yevgeniy getting it done with pocket 6s, moving him closer to winning an event he holds in high regard.
I was born in Kharkiv, Ukraine. I moved to the States when I was 8. I've been playing poker since I was about 16 and professionally since I was about 18.
It would mean a lot for me to win this event because this was the event I was looking forward to most the entire World Series, because heads up no limit is my favorite form of poker, and winning this event against the best heads up no limit players in the world is much more satisfying than just winning a tournament with a bunch of players that aren't necessarily that great.
Jason Mercier calls Timoshenko one of the best no-limit hold'em players in the world, and he's proven it again here at this heads-up championship.
Time now for the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand. It's held by Yevgeniy Timoshenko, and we've narrowed the range for you, Norman, a choice of 4 options.
It's a min raise from Timoshenko, so I'm going to go with D, a suited 9-7.
7-5 of diamonds for Jake Cody.
Cody doesn't care if Timoshenko has A, B, C, D, or E. Looks like he's going to raise with 7-5 suited.
You're right. He raises to 180,000.
Timoshenko faced with another 3-bet.
He needs 100,000 to call, and that's what he does.
Well, if he had pocket 6s, it's possible he might have come over the top again.
Boy, the atmosphere here in the poker arena is electric. 9 ace-ace. Cody gets none of that.
It might have hit Timoshenko. Well, Cody doesn't think so or doesn't care.
I think doesn't care is the key ingredient there. He bets 195,000.
He's fearless. Well, Cody's not putting Timoshenko on an ace as he continues to pound this pot with squadouche.
Casual call from Timoshenko. An 8 of hearts gives Cody an inside straight draw. And Cody is not going to let up. He bets 245,000.
He's got the gut shot now, but it's still squadouche. So he definitely doesn't put Timoshenko on an ace. And since Timoshenko is not going away, I think we can definitely rule out choice B, the king 10.
That call makes it a 1.2 million chip pot.
I think he's got the 9-7. Of course, he could be slow playing trip aces.
River jack of diamonds, no help to Cody. And he slows down. Timoshenko checks as well. He had 9-7 suited, and his 2-pair will win the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand. Nice job, Norman.
You know, with my Jack Link's multiple choice successes, Lon, I could become a WSOP Academy instructor.
Cody falls further behind his nemesis across the table.
Norman Chad, Dean of No Limit.
Well, things not going very well for Jake Cody as he tries to secure his Triple Crown. He would become just the 3rd player to do it and the youngest player to accomplish the feat, and in a much shorter time frame than either Roland DeWolf or Gavin Griffin.
You can't achieve poker's Triple Crown at 22, can you?
Amazing, isn't it? And Cody has that opportunity if he can just get by the very difficult Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
I have 2.3, so you have 900 then?
I've got 840.
Timoshenko with an almost 3-1 chip lead right now on Cody.
Timoshenko says he's more comfortable online. Doesn't think he's that sharp picking up physical tells.
The blinds at 30 and 60,000. Min raised to 120,000. Pocket 6s for Jake Cody. And he moves all in.
840, you said?
I
call.
He makes the call. Cody with his first stack of chips at risk.
Well, Timoshenko knew Cody's been 3-betting pretty light and thought he might be good there.
Cody's pocket 6s in pretty good shape pre-flop. Timoshenko with the weak ace will attempt to take all of Cody's active stack. Cody's still at the table. Yevgeniy over with his cheering section. The flop, Trey King 9. No ace for Yevgeniy.
Cody doesn't look too comfortable, but he's in great shape.
Turn card now. Key moment in this match. 9 pairs the board. That gives Timoshenko 3 additional outs.
Cody's still primed for the double up here. Timoshenko is going to need an ace or a king to win the hand and force Cody to use his first add-on.
It's an 8 of hearts, and the pocket 6s hold up for Jake Cody as he doubles to almost 1.7 million.
It's starting to get that running of the bulls feeling here, Lon.
And this match is almost even once again. Timoshenko has been collecting momentum but having trouble hanging on to it so far in this match.
Nice hand.
Jake Cody demonstrates the power of a pocket pair as that win pumps renewed life into his bracelet hopes.
Come on. I call. Nice, Dan.
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky and this 25K Heads-Up Championship. Just before the break, Jake Cody took a slim lead. We have nearly even stacks, though, both players with 2 add-ons. Truly, this is anyone's bracelet.
Lon, they didn't tell me they'd moved Carnival to this Rio. Man, it's festive in here.
All right, on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky hole cam, King Tray for Yevgeniy. But it's Cody acting out of turn with a raise with ace deuce. And Timoshenko's confused.
Can you explain to me what happens now?
It depends on what you do.
Okay, hold on. So if I call, that stands. Then it's on you.
He bet out a turn. The action was on Yevgeniy right here. Okay. Basically, he threw out 125.
You raise, you can take it back.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You raise, it doesn't have to stand.
Okay, but if I call, it stands and then it actions on me.
Timoshenko now with 3 options. He can fold, he can raise, or he can call, which he does, and now he'll have to deal with Cody's mandatory raise.
So Timoshenko has opted to come into the hand, meaning Cody's out-of-turn raise stands. Now Timoshenko can either call that raise, or he has an option to raise himself. And that's what he does. He raises to 320,000.
320,000.
Action back on Jake Cody. And he's got all his chips and raises Timoshenko all in.
This is fascinating. Timoshenko 3-bet because he thought Cody made a mistake. Cody sees through that and moves Timoshenko all in. Timoshenko can't like his king anymore.
What a move by Jake Cody as Timoshenko retreats.
You know, Lon, I have trouble thinking when I'm in the library. I don't know how these fellows process any rational thoughts in this atmosphere.
I'd like to take my rebuy chip.
Yevgeniy short on chips now, opts to use one of his add-ons worth $1.6 million. That's one indication that momentum is clearly in Cody's corner.
I think momentum is very, very important heads up. I love to just keep the aggression up. Like if you just win a big pot that's gone your way, whether you got lucky or whether you outplayed them, or like if you win like a big pot like where you've called a bluff or like you've bluffed them in a big hand. I'm not saying that you should show it, but I think you should just keep the pressure on and just keep like pounding away.
What I like about Cody is he seems to know what he wants to do fairly quickly. He's decisive, and when he's got momentum, watch out.
With the add-on, Timoshenko's active stack swells greatly, but Cody has not yet used any of his add-ons. 10-8 off for Timoshenko. And he makes a raise to 120,000.
No limping on the button tonight from Timoshenko.
Unless Cody's raising out of turn. Ace-8 off for Cody. Cody makes the call with the ace.
No 3-bet this time with an ace. Cody mixing it up.
The flop, queen, deuce, 4, rainbow. Cody's ace high makes him a strong favorite.
Check.
He checks.
I've picked up something on Timoshenko, Lon. He will delay continuation bet from 2 hands earlier.
He does bet 70,000, and Cody makes the call.
Timoshenko has that. How could you call my 10 high look?
6 of clubs on the turn. Nobody pairs up. Cody's still best.
Check.
He checks.
Here comes Timoshenko.
You are right. Timoshenko with a pot of 380,000 bets 180,000.
Timoshenko throws out another 180,000 of hooey, applying the pressure in position.
Jake Cody with the best of it. Once again, he very cautiously folds.
The aggressor gets aggressed. You've got to be impressed with both of these guys' games.
Timoshenko collects the pot, but the American rooting section is quiet.
What happened to the rail?
As their man tries to mount a charge. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. One of our 2 finalists will secure their first World Series of Poker bracelet tonight. Jake Cody or Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
And of course, Cody at 22, still looking for the triple crown of poker if he can win tonight.
And their supporters have once again found their voices.
You know, Lon, I have been to the Price is Right, and this crowd is even rowdier than those folks.
Queen 5 suited for Jake Cody. And a raise to 165,000. Timoshenko, 4 tray of diamonds.
Cody still seems so focused to the table. Timoshenko seems to lap up some of the crowd from time to time.
A call from Timoshenko. 330,000 in the pot. The flop tray 8 queen. Cody catches top pair. Timoshenko bottom pair. Top pair is ahead, Norman.
Thanks for the update.
Timoshenko checks. Cody checks.
Deceptive check from Cody there. That's a good board to check to get value later.
A deuce of hearts. Cody's queens are still way ahead. Timoshenko thinking very carefully about it. Bets 2 lavender chips. That's 200,000.
It's an awfully dry board. If I had queens, I'd think I was king of the world. These guys keep switching gears on each other. That's why they're so tough to play.
Cody with top pair makes that call. Timoshenko looking for help on the river. The ace does not bring it.
Timoshenko probably didn't like Cody's turn call or that ace.
Check from Timoshenko. Cody checks as well.
I have a 3.
A 3 will not play here. Cody wins the hand with a pair of queens.
Cody forgoes the value bet at the end. I've got to talk to him.
Quite an interesting hand to dissect. Let's hear from one of our resident pros on what was going through Cody's mind.
In this hand, Cody has flop top pair. He checks it behind, which is surprising. A lot of players would say bet. However, his play is very deceptive. Turn, irrelevant card. On the river, an ace comes out. Timoshenko checks. And what's surprising is Cody didn't go for the value bet. A lot of players would say bet here. However, when you're up against a super aggressive player such as Timoshenko, what you don't want to do is open the door for a check raise all in. But that's what separates the good players from the great players. Betting the river for value, but being prepared to call an all in.
Back inside the poker arena and this 25K heads-up championship, Timoshenko's chip count is larger only because he has used one of his 1.6 million chip add-ons. This match has been leaning towards Jake Cody quite a bit tonight. Ace tray off for Jake.
Cody, by the way, has worn the same unwashed hoodie the entire tournament, but says he won't pull the hood up during the championship.
Cody on the button. Decides to raise to 245,000. Timoshenko with Jack 10 off.
You know, Lon, when I leave here, I think I'm going to go to a rodeo to relax.
I'm on.
And Timoshenko raises Cody all in.
Cody with the weak ace. This is a big all-in to call.
And Cody says, yeah, let's go for it with the weak ace. Cody will try to put a big hurt on Timoshenko.
Cody, as he did in the semifinals against Gus Hansen, making almost all the right decisions. And remember, Cody has 2 add-ons remaining.
There's James Board, the World Series of Poker Europe main event champ in Cody's corner tonight. Timoshenko looking to take down this pot of almost 4 million chips. Here's the flop. King, King 4. Cody is safe with his ace so far.
40% of the chips in play are in this pot.
A key moment in this heads-up championship. A 7 of spades. Cody good through another street.
Timoshenko looking for a jack or a 10 to come from behind and take it down.
The river card is the ace of spades, and Jake Cody will capture that massive pot, leaving Timoshenko with a decimated chip stack.
Cody's got the momentum and, of course, the crowd. Timoshenko is stunned.
And he is wondering what went so wrong so quickly.
Well, both of these guys are pretty even-keeled. Neither will get too high or too low.
Cody with almost 4 million active chips plus his 2 add-ons.
I'd like to take my last.
And now Timoshenko takes his last add-on, which brings his total stack to 2.4 million and change. Jake Cody just put a big hurt on Yevgeniy Timoshenko. The blinds at 60 and 120,000. Ace 6 for Yevgeniy.
Timoshenko looking for a slump buster.
Timoshenko with a min raise to 240,000. Queen 9 suited for Cody. And Cody raises Timoshenko all in.
Big stack pressure from Jake Cody. A huge decision for Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
Timoshenko looks into Cody's eyes for some clues as to what the Brit is up to.
Does Timoshenko want to risk his tournament right here with the ace?
Timoshenko double checks and finally folds. Jake Cody wielding the hammer.
No slump buster for Timoshenko. More momentum for Jake Cody.
The Brit moving closer to the bracelet. Jake Cody doing it all tonight. He won a pot with a queen-high bluff and had his hands hold up in 2 key all-ins. Timoshenko clearly in trouble as Cody looks to secure 2 of his career goals, a World Series bracelet and poker's Triple Crown. Yevgeniy Timoshenko trying to find any kind of momentum. Looks down at ace-4.
Another weak ace for Timoshenko.
That's a tough decision in any poker game. He's going to raise it up to $320,000. Jake Cody also with ace-4. And he says all in. That would push Timoshenko all in.
Same MO for Jake Cody.
They call.
Timoshenko calls this time.
Well, this time Timoshenko takes a stand with his weak ace, and we got a 97% chance of a split pot.
The only thing he's got to sweat is hoping the board does not come with flush cards for Cody. All right, here's our flop. It is 8, queen, 9, 2 clubs. Cody holds the ace of clubs. And another club on the turn. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. One of the worst feelings in poker, when your opponent is free rolling what should be a split pot, and you're out if he hits it.
Cody has 4 clubs to a flush and a bracelet.
It's been all Jake Cody of late, and now with a river club, it would be a historic bracelet for Jake Cody.
A red 5 on the river will chop the pot and keep Yevgeniy alive.
Timoshenko survives the mob.
But still a long road to walk.
That was exciting.
I'm glad I was on the good end of the free roll.
You thought you were going to hit it?
No, I'm glad I was on the right side of the free roll.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a nice sweat.
The young Brit on the cusp of a historic victory.
The 2011 World Series of Poker is presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And in part by the official WSOP game on Facebook. Play online now. For details, go to facebook.com/WSOP.
Welcome back to this 25K heads-up championship here inside the Rio. Jake Cody with a commanding lead, trying to put Yevgeniy Timoshenko away.
I'm all in.
And he raises all in once again. Timoshenko shies away. He can't play his rags.
With 14 big blinds left, he's not willing to risk it.
Jake Cody full steam ahead, giving Timoshenko few options right now.
What a raucous atmosphere here. It reminds me of Kid Rock's baptism.
Jake Cody has kept the pressure on so tight around Yevgeniy Timoshenko. Timoshenko with another ace, ace-5.
It's been all Jake Cody of late. Timoshenko trying to hold on.
This time Yevgeniy just limps. Cody with king, 9 of clubs. And once again, he raises Yevgeniy all in.
It's a broken record. And it's deja vu all over again for Timoshenko. Does he call all in with a weak ace?
Cody's been raising time and time again, putting Timoshenko to such difficult decisions.
It's like a mosh pit over there with Yorkshire pudding.
How Yevgeniy can think straight, Norman, is beyond me.
I think he's got to gamble here and just hope he's ahead.
Call.
Timoshenko does make the call and hopes his ace-5 can bring him a double up. He's ahead right now.
I think they're calling Jake Cody over to pay the bar tab.
Jake Cody standing in the comfort of his cheering section. Timoshenko hoping his ace will stand up.
Both combatants retired to their corners.
They will let the cards tell the story.
Dude, you're going to smoke this kid. You're going to win this flip. He's going to go on tilt because his whole rail is going to be disappointed. You're going to roll over it.
I like it.
All right, here's the flop. And there's a king in the window for Jake Cody as he vaults into the lead.
And Timoshenko sees the Grim Reaper. None of the big hands have gone Timoshenko's way tonight.
He's looking for an ace. The 6 on the turn brings Cody to the threshold of history.
Timoshenko needs an ace and an ace only, or Jake Cody makes history.
The river card is a 4 and it's over. Jake Cody's dominating performance has earned him a bracelet, and he's become the youngest player ever to earn poker's Triple Crown.
And Jake Cody shines under the brightest lights, first against Gus Hansen and here against Yevgeniy Timoshenko.
With the win, Cody earns over $851,000. He now owns EPT, WPT, and World Series of Poker titles.
Tremendous disappointment for Timoshenko.
James Board with a hug of congratulations for his fellow Brit. A masterful performance by this young star to become the last man standing in this incredibly difficult field. Cody takes the bracelet and the huge payday. Timoshenko can take some consolation, winning over $500,000. Let's go down to Kara, who's with our newest champion.
Jay Cody, you've just won one of the most prestigious World Series of Poker bracelets possible, completed your Triple Crown. Describe to me what's going through your head.
Basically that. I can't put into words like how crazy it is, and I'm speechless.
Give me your thoughts on the supporters that you've got here behind you.
They've been incredible, I think. They spurred me on to the win, and probably could have done me without them.
And obviously you're happy with the way you played, but your opponent played brilliantly as well, didn't he?
For sure, Yevgeniy's one of the best players in the world, and obviously I had to run good to beat him, but the structure got quite shallow in the end, and whoever run the best in the showdowns would have won it. So,
well, this is a difficult event to win. Congratulations to our new champion. I'd like to invite Jack Effel, the World Series of Poker Tournament Director, on to present with you a bracelet.
4 days of long, hard play. You became victorious over the greatest poker players in the world. On behalf of Caesars Entertainment and the World Series of Poker, I am proud to present you with your very first World Series of Poker gold bracelet. Jake Cody, give me a handshake. Congratulations. Hold it up for the world to see.
Jake Cody's coming out performance here at the World Series of Poker is a memorable one.
And this British invasion ends with a gold bracelet. Skill and a little luck propelled Brit Jake Cody to his 7th straight heads-up win and his first bracelet.
840, you said? That was exciting.
He found courage beyond his 22 years.
Can you explain to me what happens now?
And with a rail worthy of the Premier League, Jake Cody completed his Triple Crown. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.